Since I was a child, I would always stare into the sky and wonder, is there anything out there? Are we really alone in this universe? And I grew older, but that question would always remain, until that fateful day. You see, the truth is out there, hidden in plain sight. The government's toyed with us, denying all plausibility until they finally showed themselves. And all we could do is just watch as they decimated the world over. The armies hadn't anything to retaliate with, to try and fight this threat, so the survivors retreated underground. The caves became our homes, and we slowly, but surely, devised a plan against them. And over time, we began to fight back. We built our own fighting machines, in our caves, with a bunch of scraps discarded by the aliens. We built our own mechs. Sure, they didn't look much, but it was something. Something to give our future generations hope. Hello everyone, are you well? Let's cue up some music and talk about this build. So this week's build's for one of my subscribers, Chris Foster. He asked if I would build another mech, so I did. And Chris, if you're watching, look closely and you'll see I named the mech after you. So let's talk about the actual build. Some Kinder eggs and bigger eggs that have terrible toys in them will be the foundation for this mech. I wanted the arms and feet to be out of proportion with the body, and it's a common fact that feet size doesn't correspond with other sizes on a man's body. I'm just saying. So I glued the arms and legs to the big egg, and then it was on to a cockpit. I need a cockpit. Ah, hello. This is a Avatar toy. It was a bargain on Amazon, and I'm going to use it for the mech's cockpit. Very cheap, and broke it within 2 minutes of me holding it. Now there's a record. Oops. But that's okay, because I can probably use those legs and these arms for some other quirky build. I just need that cockpit and that cockpit person, pilot, whatever he is. I used one half of My Little Pony egg to bulk out the mech's back. Why? Because I wanted to change the egg shape and also thought it would look kind of cool once the cockpit was in place. Not trusting my gluing ability, I broke out the AK modelling putty and used that around the seams for extra strength, and once that had dried and sanded down, I gave it a little bit of green stuff putty. I made that into like a worm and then poked that around a little bit until it kind of looked like welded lines. No, you can't see it in the finished build, but I know it's there. There you go, there's the shot of me with the green stuff putty. Yep, yeah, nothing much else to say really. Move on. That's the My Little Pony egg just going onto the back of the egg. Why is it only going on now? Well, because it fell off twice, and that was probably the reason why I used the AK modelling putty and the green stuff putty on the arms and legs, and I'll do that on that egg as well. Having realised that there was nothing to stick the cockpit onto, I stuck the other half of My Little Pony onto the front, so then the cockpit had something sort of like stronger to adhere to. So just sticking that on there. Has anybody realised yet that I have no real plans when I go into these builds? I just go feet first and decide where the plastic takes me. So finally broke out the model kits to start bashing this kit together, and we're over 4 minutes, so this week's secret code is Obadiah. And by my calculations, so far there is 3 Easter eggs in this video. 2 you'll probably get. 1 I'm not so sure of unless you're Morrigan's Creations, who is my in-house geek master. God bless you. So all I'm doing now is just adding bits and pieces onto the egg, just to make it look like it's bits and pieces from fallen alien technology. Done it 100 times before. Well, I know that's an exaggeration, but I've done it a few times before, so I've just zapped through all this. Side note, Earlware 4322, exhaust, you know. So after about 4 hours work of going back and forth, just sticking random bits to the egg, it comes out like this. And this used to freak me out because it looked like nothing. But then primer is my best friend. So let's get it primed and back onto the painting. So I primed it black because that's all I had available at the time. And then it was a green. Why green? Well, because I kind of like green when I'm doing these sort of things, and I thought, yeah, it'll be something that the guys would sort of splatter on, because it's kind of like an army mech. So that's why it's green. Then I used a different kind of green, well, a lighter green, professionals would have said, just to do some highlights and pickups. And then it was on to the scratching and bashing. Now, the reason why I mentioned exhaust earlier was simply because I was pulled up about having my exhaust the wrong way around. So for this build, I put them the right way around. I hope to God you leave me a nice comment now. I did some go faster stripes because every mech should have go faster stripes, and then took off the this putty off the visor, so then you could see out of it basically. Stuck some transfers on it very delicately. Yes, alright, some might have fallen off, my bad. Then sprung out the air gun again just to do some red pickups on the exhaust and various other things. Here's the pencil, which is silver, and I'm just gonna spend an awful long time making scratches and dinks. This took an awful long time. Now this is a new weathering technique that I've just started doing, putting little dots of acrylic paint on, and then what I do is use some thinners just to bring them down so it looks like, well, basically bird poo that's splattered on the mech. So yeah, but it makes it look alright, kind of. So I just kept applying the thinners all the way around just to weather the mech, and then it's on to the glamour shots. So thank you very much for sticking by and watching. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, and until next time, keep scratching that build.